Let's call the first guy John. Okay, John was this young chap. Young in the sense that he was 27 plus that time. Okay, 27 plus, and he got married to this girl. And lo and behold, what he didn't know was that this girl, even in fact, it was a surprise to the girl that the parents of the girl had planned out that after she would get married to a nice boy and all that, they would help her settle down. So they were planning to go to the West. The father, who runs a successful business and is old, he was nearly in retirement age, 60, and the mother, who also, works at the same company, they surprised them by giving them a house in, when they went abroad. And they also gave them a big chunk of money. And they also said, because we want you to settle down fast and all that, this one house that we're giving you as a gift is where you'll be staying. You choose and buy another house, which you can give it on rent. And you can live off, the extra income there as you're trying to settle down. So, one house is a gift, one house for renting, and a large chunk of money in the bank as this is yours. So normally they give it after they die, but they decided to give it beforehand. And lo and behold, this young man and this girl, they never experienced. Just imagine, for example, to give you a small idea, just imagine you have $1,000 in the bank account, or $2,000, or $5,000 maximum in the bank account as savings, and all of a sudden you have $500,000 US dollars in the bank account. Just visualize that. Okay, you had $1,000, now you have $500,000. Sounds good, right? So in a period of like these couple of 2-3 years after they got married, the father, the mother, they went there, helped them set up the house and purchased a house. The father was involved because he has business experience. So they purchased a nice, not luxurious villa, a nice villa-like house, and a nice apartment where he could put it for rent. And the father set up everything for the son-in-law and the daughter to ensure they would be happy. And they came back to their hometown. Okay. So how do I know all this? Is because he was my client. Was, and I'll tell you why was. So he used to always take my advice, and I was always guiding him. Although the wifey, she didn't like my tattoos, and she's religious, Catholic. So I was an atheist, so she was not comfortable with that. But she listened to the husband, and you could say that they were living a romantic life. They were living that life of, you have your dreams. Like they had a themed wedding. Themed wedding where you have a theme. They had a themed wedding where everyone had to dress up in a particular outfit, and everyone had to, play a role and all that. And then the after party and all that, very nice hotel. So because the father and mother, only daughter. Okay, so everything was great. And this guy went abroad, and now he's settled down there. Indian passport holder, just in case you don't know. And finally, he eventually got the citizenship. But that is where I noticed there were some changes in his personality. Like before, he used to always talk about working hard. He wanted to improve on his personal brand. He wanted to, you hear these inspirational stories of hope that you want to set up something from scratch. But now, after all the money and everything was transferred over the period of 3, 4, 5 years, he started telling me, instead of having something that is grounded, he started giving me all this bullshit about traveling the world with his wife and seeing the wonders of the world, going to exotic locations, living life, trying new careers. And so I was like, wait, listen. Before you wanted a career path, like let's give him, say for example, chef. You wanted to be a chef. You completed your college in terms of, learning how to cook and hospitality industry. Then you went and got your diploma in that, chef cooking, whatever. Then you learned new courses in cooking, chef. Your career has been cooking and this thing. And when you decided to go abroad, you decided I would stick to chef. And your goal was to start a restaurant and be a chef and run a small one. Now, after all this money has come into your bank account, you're not talking about being a chef. You're talking about being a digital nomad, traveling around the world, being a vlogger, being trying investing in different small businesses, other countries. He even shocked me by telling me he wants to try farming and organic stuff, and then obviously abroad there is weed, weed, and I didn't know this, but he was slowly getting into it. And one fine day, he told me that he is into weed. Both him and his wife, both of them, not just one. And I was like, man, listen, be careful. Don't want to get into this because it'll destroy life. He started laughing at me and saying, Loy, I knew that you're old school and all that. Kind of the condescending tone. I was like, what do you mean old school and this and that? It's not good. It's harmful. It's dangerous. Loy, I've been doing it since the time I came here. I said, you didn't tell me about it. Like, the client, the coach, and mentor mentee relationship, you tell everything. He didn't tell me about this. And that itself was a red flag because then I realized if he didn't tell me about this, there are many things he didn't tell me about. And then once he told me that him and his wife both were into weed and all that, soon I realized, which he told me, bro, in bits and pieces, him and his wife have been going to these parties and rave parties and smoking weed and relaxing, and they have this new bunch of friends. For a guy who never had friends, all of a sudden he has all these foreigner friends, dreadlocks and smoking, and I was like, man, what the hell are you doing with your career? Like, to which he told me that he already booked tickets to travel around, and by the time he already got his citizenship, and he had made a plan to travel around the world. Okay, I said, boss, if you're going to travel around the world, when are you coming back? Like, is it going to be like 1 week, 2 week? No, we are just going to keep traveling. I said, what about the money? Loy, there is enough and more money in the bank. What about day to day? Loy, we already have both the houses are going to be given on rent, and that money is enough for us on rent. I said, boss, you're just in your 30s. Like, don't you want to work? Say, Loy, listen. I know you are, again, he went, you're old school, you believe in working. But if you had my kind of money, listen to that. If you had my kind of money, you wouldn't want to do what you're doing. I just told him, leave that. Okay, if my kind of money, your kind of money, whatever, you have appointed me as your coach, as your mentor. My job is to guide you, not give you sweet talk. Okay, and cut out this superiority attitude that is growing, where you are now trying to give me advice after you have started smoking weed. And we had I don't like when people forget their place just because they got a little bit of money. And he's like, Loy, listen, I don't think our relationship is proving productive and useful to me. He's saying, if you can support me on my ventures, fine, others will have to call it a day. I said, I'm not going to kiss your ass just because you got some money. Okay, weed is not good for you. Your friend circle is not good for you. Smoking, drinking, not good for you. Traveling around the world it's a luxury, it's a privilege. But if you're going to do that, keep traveling from country to country to country to country, you're going to keep spending money. And then you'll not have a career when you come back. And both you and your wife are not working. And you're living based on the revenue for these houses, which don't know if it's going to last forever. And the money in the bank is not going to last forever. No, Loy, we are very smart. We are not that dumb. And I just realized that he was not ready to listen. So overall, he decided he would go for his trip, and I told him all the best, but we'll have to also end this coaching relationship, which has been for so long, so many years. I said, I don't think you're coachable because things have gone to your head and you kind of feel that you're invincible. So he said, no, Loy, the problem is with you. And he was like, you're old school, you are stubborn, you are following outdated principles. This is the new modern, blah, blah, blah. He started lecture. I said, listen, I don't need to take your shit. We have had a 6-year relationship, 6, 7 years. Let's call it a day. I wish you all the best. Take care. And I told him, please don't, I would appreciate if you go your way. I don't want anything got to do with you. I told him point blank because when I realize that someone is going the wrong direction and has changed their attitude, is no longer having the student mentality, but changed because of the money that they made, I don't need it. So he said, bye bye. For me, I don't keep in touch. He did, he was kind enough to send me a tip, so to speak, decent amount of money. He said, this is for all the good times that we have had. Just a thank you. I know he had a lot of money, so obviously, okay, fine, whatever, money is money. And he went. The last I heard of him was he traveled to the seventh or eighth country, and him and his wife, he are still, they are not online, they don't like to be on social media, whatever. But the father and mother, who kind of knew me, because I used to mentor this, both of them, especially the guy, he told me that they are worried now. And I said, why are you worried? He's saying they just send us, before they used to send us messages every week. Now they're sending us messages once in 2 months, 3 months. And they're just like, hey, come down, have a good time. And, the father's, he runs a business. Now he's 60 plus. And he knows that life is not just about, going to country, enjoying. He's saying, and his father then told me, the father, I made a big mistake by giving all that money. I shouldn't have done that. I said, yes, you're right. You shouldn't have given the money, but now it's too late. He's saying, I'm just hoping they don't destroy their lives by getting into the wrong company, because they are still into weed and all that stuff, but you just don't know. Anyway, I don't know much about their finances, whether it's going up or down, whatever. But I can tell you one thing. That lifestyle that they're talking about, just traveling, not working, living on the money of the bank, that's not how a career should be. Okay, so that was example number one, the sad case of, let's call him John. Okay,